Hi, everyone. It's Reverend Dr. Katie, and I am talking to you today for a few minutes about angel numbers because this is a question that comes up all of the time, and many of us, probably most of us, are going to have the experience at some point in life where we see a lot of numbers that are repeated. And this can happen on receipts, on billboards, on car license plates in front of us, just like everywhere you look, you see repeated numbers. But before we actually talk about angel numbers, let's talk about the concept behind angel numbers. Because probably the number one question that I get about this is like, what do they mean? And that can even be filled with some anxiety. That can, underneath that question, can be like, is this real? Or does this actually mean anything? And the question about what something means and this is like the biggest hint I can possibly give about this topic, or really any topic. The question, what does it mean, is the final question to ask. It's not the first question to ask. We can't possibly know what anything means until we take the time to explore it, to really explore the spirituality behind it, to explore our feelings and emotions behind whatever it is. So, y'all, this applies to angel cards, it applies to angel numbers, it applies to crystals, it applies to reading the Bible, it applies to absolutely every component of our spiritual life. So, the question, what does it mean, is usually fairly premature. Right? Because what does it mean is dependent on you, on your personality, on your interaction with the world around you, on, like how you feel. Maybe you have a lucky number. Maybe the number you see repeating is the same as your age. That's going to radically change your interpretation of those numbers. And so no one else can really tell you what any of this means. It is all highly personal and contextual and very much dependent on you and your experience. So the first question to ask is not necessarily what does it mean, or even like, is this in the Bible? The first question always to ask is, how do I feel? Right? Because your feeling is part of your vibration. It is part of your signature that you're giving out to the universe. So suppose you have a question about angel numbers and you're feeling a lot of anxiety because like you're not sure if this is okay. You're not actually ready to know what those numbers mean yet, right? The first vibration to explore is I'm seeing these repeated numbers and how do I feel about it? And then ask yourself whenever you see the repeating numbers again, like check, if you see a bunch of twos, just check in with yourself the next time you see those twos. How are you feeling right before you saw those twos? Were you feeling joyful? Were you asking some curious questions? Were you kind of in a low vibration? Were you replaying an old story or old saga in your head? So often when I see ones that repeat, I check. I just stop and check very quickly, and I think, oh my gosh, what's my vibration right now? Am I in a cycle where I need to actually watch my thoughts and start to reprogram them and ask for angels to help with that? Or am I in a cycle where I'm like, oh yeah, like I am using my thoughts to help my vibration and help the world out and myself out. And so the ones can appear for both of those vibrational states. And because I know myself and my spiritual journey pretty well now, I'll know immediately like, oh, the ones mean this for this vibration and this for this vibration, right? So there's no one size fits all, even for the same individual. All right. So another question that comes up about angel numbers is, are they biblical? Actually, they're not. This is a modern technology. This is a modern phenomenology for people that work with numbers all the time. All of us know a lot more math than the majority of people living back in biblical times. So it actually makes a lot of sense. Although there is obviously a lot of numbers in the Bible that are highly symbolic and highly representative. But I can't point to any one particular sequence the repeated numbers that you may see and say, oh yeah, like in the Bible, it says exactly this and this is what it means. It just doesn't work that way. What we want to look for is, again, tapping into our emotions and simply using the repeated numbers as a signal in our life to pay attention to something deeper. It's actually not about the numbers, right? It's not about the numbers at all. The numbers are the opportunity for us to dig deeper, for us to explore, for us to say, oh, thank you for that reminder. Now I'm ready for the next part of this journey. Now I'm ready to confirm my intuition. Now I'm ready to redirect myself because I was, been scattered, right? And the numbers are simply little portals, little tips from the angels, little reminders from the angels about where we are in our spiritual journey, either confirming or a gentle redirect, which we all need, including myself, from time to time. So I hope that that helps. So my recommendations here are when we do see a lot of consistency and repetition, I think that is worth paying attention to. But asking what does it mean right away will yield you nothing. It will yield you a lot of opinions. It won't yield you what is your inner truth. So the second thing to look at is your feelings. What are your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts when you encounter these numbers? So that's actually like the most important thing, right? That's the thing that will give you the access point for what is next. Okay? And then when we can see angel numbers, repeated numbers, any kind of repeated anything really out in life, and we can fold that into our larger spiritual journey. So it's not in isolation, because it never is. It never is in isolation. It's part of a pattern of repeated synchronicities in your own life. Then the numbers start to make sense. Right? So they are rarely, if ever, like the one burning bush. They're lots of gentle waves in the ocean of your spiritual life. So you can Google out there and you can find ones mean this, twos mean this, threes mean this, and all of that's good information. But the next step is for you to find out what that means to you, because it will always be personalized. Right? We're all unique individuals. So because it is a modern technology and those numbers have been assigned in modern contemporary times, you'll have to discern, are they right for you? So this is a larger part of what I assist people in doing, is in paying attention to those patterns, paying attention to those synchronicities, learning how to discern their feelings and emotions around angel numbers, around when they occur, and how they're lining up with other things in their spiritual life, other phenomena in their spiritual life, and getting really comfortable with that, so that when the numbers appear, it becomes like second nature, because we get to know what they mean to us. So this is part of what I help people do. If exploring these patterns in your spiritual life feels like it would be of value to you, and that feels like it would be beneficial, so it's not just in the isolated instances that leave you wondering and standing in the gap, but those can fit into a larger pattern of what the angels are nudging you about. And remember, the angels are always working for God, and the God is directing the angels in our own lives. So we're all part of this beautiful dance. So if all of that makes sense to you to explore further, do reach out, because this is what I help people do. So I'd love to talk to you to see if, the kind of way that I companion and mentor people might be right for you. All right, everyone. So it's great to talk to you, and let me know if you have any questions. Write some comments about this below, whatever you're exploring, whatever you're feeling. And if you're experiencing a lot of repeated numbers, put those below too, so just so we can see them and kind of live into that vibration together. All right, everyone. Talk to you soon.